Alright, this is a video about the seven deadly sins. Now, I got ranking of the seven deadly sins. So at number seven, I got Diane, the serpent sin. I think, yeah, she's the serpent sin of envy. So she's a giant, right? So she's a giant. She doesn't age as much as humans. She has a different lifespan. So she could live for like 500 years, I think, is like their max lifespan or so, something like that. And she, you know, she has that Gideon, which is that big ass hammer. She can smash it and other things, right? She can break like buildings and other stuff, and she is like lethal with that stuff. But like the other seven deadly sins have powers that can like hold against enemies and other things. Like the Ten Commandments better than her shit. But they were all having like problems with them. But they're just one of the biggest threats in that series. But who else was? Who else was? Like the Holy Knights and shit. She was holding against them with the Gideon and smashing them down and you know creating a lot of destruction with that hammer and stuff. And she has heavy metal and other things. When she's in her human form, she can turn into heavy metal and like smash into people with her body and like weigh them down. So that's what she can do, and that's why I have her number seven. Now I have Gowther, the goats in the lust. See, he's a doll, so he doesn't even have a heart. His heart's like made from like magic of the real Gowther, who was one of the seven deadly or my bad. He was one of the he was one of the Ten Commandments. But Gowther was a doll created by him. So gave him a heart that had magic in it to keep him alive and other things. And Gowther had a bow that he can shoot into people's mind, and he uses a move called invasion, and he can invade your mind and like even like rewrite your memories and other things to make you believe other stuff happened and other stuff, um shit that wasn't even there. He can manipulate your thoughts and other things. That's why he's a problem and other things, but I think everybody ahead of him is more of a problem than him, since the people ahead of him know how his powers work and other things. And Diane got caught up by Gother's like illusions and shit before, so like I had to put her down below. I was gonna put other people below, but I was like no, cause she got caught in those illusions and stuff. Um, as usually as a woman does. Alright, cool. So Bond is the immortal human. He So he was a human that was, abused as a kid and other things, left for dead, and he found a father. But his father was, well, not a father, but a adopted father. But his father was like a wolf and stuff. So one day Bond was like left and other things, and his name was like Chibago or something like that, and he had to go save his real son. But he come to find out that his real son was dead, and Bond had to leave after that so he wouldn't get caught by the authorities and hung and other things. So Bond ran away for a long time, and he became a thief and other things. And eventually, he came upon the Fountain of Youth, and he drank from that. And that's where it was in the Fairy King's forest. And Fairy King was Harlequin, which is another guy on this list, because he's one of the seven deadly sins too. But his sister was what was her fucking name? Elaine, and she was there, and she was like, oh, um, you know, drink this and protect this forest from those fucking demons. And he drank the elixir and he became immortal and he could fight. And like every time like he gets, fucked up, like he gets holes in his head and everything. Like dismembered body parts and other things, he regenerates. He has that like 100% recoup for real. Immortal. And that's why I got him at number five, because he only has that move, snatch, which he can snatch people's magic power and use it for himself, but it has a limit in other things. And he also has a little fucking I don't know, it's like some kind of staff that is like Ikaku's from Bleach, a three-pronged staff or some shit like that. I don't know what that weapon's called, but he's I number five, and I got number four. That's Harlequin, the king of the fairies. He was lazy and other things in his like base form or like another form. He looks like a fat guy, really ugly, another thing. but then he shrinks down into a kid and looks more like a fairy like everybody else. He went into that fat boy mode so he could like leave his people and other things. But when he left his people, they hated him and shit. They were like, "You're supposed to stay with the force and stuff. You're the king of this force, and you left us because you're a bitch." And he was like, I didn't leave because of that. I just left because it was time for me to go and other things. Uh, but he ended up taking control of his force and other things. He has what's called the chastity fall. It's a little thing that transforms into like it can transform into a flower and shoot a beam of light, or it can turn into a shield, a pillow that protects him from things. Like it has like I don't know how many forms it has, but like six different forms. It has that form where it can make thousands of like daggers and like he can shoot them at people and other things. Um, he was doing like work with people and stuff. And then he got a power up like at towards the end of the series where he got his actual angel, not his angel wing, his fairy wings, and he looked more like an adult too. Um, so it was cool how he powered up and other things. He saved his friends and stuff too. Uh, let's see, from falling from far. Um, and then number three, I got Merlin. She's a wizard that got her powers from, and see, she got her powers from the divine goddess, who's the ruler of the goddess clan, and the demon king, who's the ruler of demons. So she got that, and she made a deal with both of them, and she became the most powerful witch or wizard in the land. And she was like on her quest to like find Arthur and make him the king of chaos, but she had to like backtrack and help Meliodas out with the seven deadly sins with Elizabeth and other things, and with the Ten Commandments and other stuff. She she has perfect cube and other things. If she puts people in perfect cube, she like you can't get out of that shit. And nobody can get out of the perfect cube. It's hard to break. It's hard to build as well. And she has other moves too. She can like put her soul inside of other things and other things. It's shit from like demon culture and goddess culture. She has both types of magic, and no one in that universe is better at using magic than her. So she's at number three, and I got Escanor at number two. See, he's a human too, but he got blessed with the grace of sunshine when he was like young, and he always had that power. So like the grace within inside of a human allows him to like do like unimaginable things, and he was basically like kind of like Hercules is what I like would equate him to, and he was like very strong, very powerful. And the only person who could like rein him in was Meliodas, and he's the youngest. He's actually the youngest member of the Seven Deadly Sins. He was powerful. He uses Cruel's son to like destroy Esterosa almost, which is actually the original holder of Sunshine, low key, because he's Mael. But you find that out later in the series, and it's cool. Um, he also fought Meliodas and other things, and he was able to actually beat Meliodas when he was in Perfect Cube. Uh, Meliodas wasn't in his full strength. That's why I got him at number one. Because Meliodas at full power, he has full counter, revenge counter. He can send shit back at people and other things. He was fighting the Ten Commandments by himself, like when before he even took his like demon form. And when he's in demon form, he doesn't care. He's bloodlusted, and he killed Frowdrin. Like he was smiling when he killed Frowdrin. He was laughing and everything, and that was like one of his old buddies for real. When he was when he was in because he was one of the Ten Commandments. He's a demon. See, he was the son of the Demon King, and he had got cursed by the goddess and other things to like keep living forever and ever, and seeing Elizabeth die over and over again, and she kept getting reincarnated for like 3,000 years, and he kept seeing her die and other things. It was like torture on him, but he kept living through it, and eventually, things worked out in the end. But it took a long ass time for old boy to get what he needed and stuff. But he's the strongest member of the Seven Deadly Sins. That's why he's the captain too, and he's the most experienced as well. So I got him at number one, and that is the end of this video. I say cool. Stay cool. I'm going.